Hey guys, welcome to the video review of another addition to the Parkside Performance family, this brand new model 12 volts cordless router. Typically for the black models, it's equipped with a brushless motor, the no-load rotation speed is 13,000 RPMs, and you can use it with router bits with 6 and 8 mm shanks. According to Parkside, this thing should provide 30% higher performance when compared with the green 12 volts model. Let's see whether this statement is more or less correct. Here I have the latest green 12 volts router, the B3 version. You can easily see they have quite similar design of the main body. An easy noticeable, and if you ask me, an important difference is the no-load rotation speed of the two units. Like I said, the black model is rated 13,000 RPMs, while the green, equipped with a brushed motor, is rated 19,000 RPMs, 6,000 RPMs higher. Before opening the briefcases, I want to point your attention to this table on the back side of the new model, where we can see a list of all routers from the performance family. You can see the new 12 volts model, the last year cordless 20 volts, this year corded 710 watts, again a model from the last year rated 2200 watts, and a model for which I am missing any information rated 1200 watts. Probably a new and unannounced Parkside Performance model. Let's hope we see it anytime soon. The two machines are equipped with identical adapters for external dust extraction. The parallel guide on the Performance model looks slightly better and it's made from thicker material. The machines come with identical set of router bits. The difference is that the bits from the Performance set have some information written on them, while the bits that come with the green model, well, you can see there's nothing on them. Looking at the two products, you can see they share pretty similar body design, but the body of the new model, the performance model, is bulkier. From this angle you can see it even better. Not much of a difference on the back. The biggest difference is the position of the spindle and the mounting points of the two pillars holding the base plate. When setting the milling depth on the green model and before using the lock screw, you can feel one really unpleasant free play. Of course, using the lock screw eliminates it. On the black model, that free play is almost non-existent even without using the lock screw. Of course, tightening it makes the things rock solid. On the green model, there's a spring-driven spindle lock button. On the performance model, there's a knob which you have to rotate in order to lock the spindle, and you don't have to constantly hold it into position like on the green. However, sometimes locating the groove so you can fully engage the lock can be a real pain in the ass. Locating the lock groove is much more easier on the green model. I'm sure you saw the other obvious difference. The green model is equipped with a mechanical push and slide on-off switch. It's not the best, but it works. The black model is equipped with the nasty membrane buttons. In order to start the device, you have to first unlock it and then press the second button 2 times really fast. By the way, we have buttons on both sides, which is really convenient. I think it's time to hear the two devices. It sounds to me like the green model needs more time to spin up, or it simply has a soft start. If we take a look inside, we can see that the two routers have quite different design. The green model is using a brushed motor directly coupled with the spindle, which is rotating on one relatively small roller bearing. On the performance model, we have a brushless motor without hall sensor, the usual, which is not directly connected to the spindle. The motor motion is transferred through a cox belt to the spindle, which is supported by two relatively big bearings. If you ask me, this is the better configuration. On the black model, we have sleeve on each pillar holding the base plate. You can see the second metal sleeve here. On the green model, we have only one sleeve. There's no sleeve for the second pillar. The second pillar is supported only by the plastic body of the tool, and that's the reason for the free play I showed you earlier. The spindle lock system on the performance model is also better and more solid. As it goes for the systems for setting the milling depth, those are identical. Finally, the two control boards, really simple, really basic control board on the green model versus the way more sophisticated control board on the performance model. Both routers need a longer fence on their parallel guide, but it's way more tangible on the performance model. What do I mean? You can see that on the green model, the fence of the parallel guide ends just before the milling bit, and this way, more or less, you can do straight cuts. You could eventually feel some router wandering at the end of the piece of wood you're cutting. It would have been way better if the fence was 2 or 3 centimeters longer. And now take a look at the performance model and how far away the fence is from the milling bit. If you're milling something like the plank here, the last 2 or 3 centimeters, you won't have anything to support you, and most likely the groove you're making will be far from straight. Of course, in such situations you can use an external guide rail, but this is something Parkside should have thought about. I know, those grooves are too deep for the machines, but I was testing their power and definitely the black model is performing better. The second one I got a little bit off track, but definitely the performance model has more power, more torque, and to avoid any possible doubts or suspicions, I'm doing the cuts only with the performance router bits. Again, I'm torturing the machines, I'm not claiming any woodworking qualities here, and I can say once again, the black model has more torque, which is perfectly normal if we take account that the performance model has lower RPMs due to the belt transmission inside. At the end of this video, I wanna say that if you found the green model useful in your woodworking activities, most likely you even more appreciate the new performance model. So much from me, you know the drill, bye and see you soon.